What is happening? Chapter 5. I'm coming straight off chapter 4. I'm going straight into chapter 5. I double downed on some reading and obviously study guide creation, stuff like that. Um, I'm excited. Let's just do it. Let's just jump right into it. So, chapter 5, Mark Douglas explores how our perceptions shape our past experiences and beliefs and create our trading reality. We don't see the market as it truly is. We see it through a filter of our own expectations, fears, and bias. Douglas argues that to trade effectively, we must recognize our personal mental model often distorts the market information. Learning to perceive the market objectively without projecting emotions, beliefs, it is critical to becoming consistent. So, when I used to be part of a Discord years and years and years and years and years ago, all right, when one of the quote coaches or one of the people, the traders everybody looked up to, I would be looking at something like, man, I'm about to short this, and then they would talk about longing that asset. Now all of a sudden, I like go back and look at the technical analysis. I'm like, oh, I see what they mean. I see. Okay, because it distorted my reality because I believed they knew what they were doing. Okay, I didn't even know these people. All right, I was just such a fresh trader that it was like I could see whatever you told me. If you were like, "Oh, it's so bearish," I would pull up my indicators and charts and make lines and go, "Yeah, totally see it. Yeah." All right. So, your perception is huge. I try to approach the market without even a daily bias anymore. Okay. Yes, I'm aware of larger trends. All right. I will say that. But I am not so aware of it that I allow it to take it in as a bias. I really don't believe in bias. Um, I believe in like live action trading. Like, okay, the trend is the trend until the end. Okay. I do, in a sense, follow that. Um, but I will not be like, oh, my daily bias today is bearish, so I'm only taking bearish trades. Nope, 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 nope. As soon as I cut out daily bias, my trades like improve dramatically. Okay, so um, so just be careful on understand your past experiences too trading. Okay, I have a couple of experiences working on like an automation team, being a lead strategist, and like I was like inundated with indicators and data to the point like your brain just wants to explode. Okay, and so I know that when I put indicators on my chart, I overanalyze and my brain gets flooded with data to the point that I can't even think straight. Okay. So that's how I ended up being a price action trader, right? Because I was the guy who was like, let me have confirmation on confirmation on confirmation on confirmation on confirmation. So that way I can guarantee that I get like an 80-90% win rate. Okay. So I have to make sure that my past experience of that does not play into my beliefs or it plays in positively to my beliefs. That's why I'm such a believer in price action, right? Live price action. I don't look left very far. Okay. I do look left like previous day. And I will pay attention to like a weekly high or low or something like that. But I'm not like anchored in all of this like, left price action. I'm looking at what is going on right now. Okay. Which I'm an intraday trader. So I'm not trading, like huge time frames. I don't hold trades for weeks. I hold trades for 10 minutes to 2 hours, really. All right. So, to trade effectively, we need to recognize our personal mental mode, and it often distorts market information. All right, that's why indicators are so hard for me because I can find a long or I can find a short based on whatever indicator you put in front of me. All right. So key themes and concepts. All right, we trade what we believe, not what we see. Okay, like I just said, when one of those people would post, my whole framework would change. Like, yeah, man, of course we're going. I see that now. Okay. All right. Just being honest. I'm just being open. All right. Every trader interprets the market differently based on their mental conditioning. This is why you need to train yourself mentally to be conditioned to follow your strategy, the one that you built, that you believe in. And yes, you could take mine and go make it yours. I don't care. I shared it wide open in the last video. It's kind of ridiculously easy, and you can just replicate that. Maybe make some tweaks to make it your own, and that's where I've seen people do the best. All right. When you hand someone this like crazy complicated strategy that like somebody's been trading for 8 years, and they're like, they do what I do, like my simple strategy, except for they add PTO charts and they're looking at volume printed candles and longs versus shorts and trap traders and CVD. And, yeah, they may push their win rate up a little bit, but you give that same strategy that I do that's really easy and you give it to someone with all of that other information, all of a sudden they drowned in the data and they can't replicate it and they lose, right? Like I know I could go back and get my PTO charts and like look at the long and short data and probably make a little bit better informed decisions. I do visualize trap traders in my mind when we're sweeping highs or lows or whatever, but I could get into that data and go make maybe a little bit more informed decisions. But I know that every decision I make and every data point that I'm analyzing, it costs me, it's a mental cost. And so I like where I'm at, it's so simple that I can just replicate it and move forward with the results and not overanalyze. I make better decisions in that environment. All right. So every trader interprets the market differently based on their mental conditioning. Two traders look at the same chart. One sees buying, another sees selling. Okay. All right. And you know what? There's times that I've longed and someone else is short and their strategy played out as a winner and mine as a loss. And then the next time it was flipped. And then the next time we both took a short, right? And the next time we both took a long, and sometimes we're on point and sometimes we're opposite. And both strategies work. Okay. But if I follow them and then they try and follow me and, we're getting confused and we have this conflicting information, whatever. I hope you guys get what I'm saying. All right. Your beliefs dictate what information you pay attention to and what you ignore. So the belief is really the foundation of your decision making. If you truly believe in your strategy, you'll trade it. Now, you may still take a FOMO trade, which is kind of what I deal with sometimes. Sometimes you revenge trade or whatever, because you're making a decision based off of emotion and not your strategy. But I believe in my strategy. Like 100%, I believe in my strategy. And I know that I will go through pockets of, kind of like, some bigger drawdown and stuff, but I know long term it makes money. So my decisions usually lean towards things that would, pour into my strategy, things that would support my strategy because I believe in it. All right. So if you don't actually believe in your strategy, you have to work on building that. You start by back testing just to make sure that it's potentially profitable, and back testing only goes so far. But then you need to start forward testing it, either with a paper account, whatever. I don't really recommend that. That's just me. But you can paper trade. That's fine. Or you can just go get a cheap combine for Apex for $34, or Top Step for $50, $50,000 combine, and you practice. You take one micro or one micro. Just take one micro, and you're risking like $50, $100 a trade, and you have so many trading opportunities. And in kind of what feels like a real environment, right? I know it's a virtual, but there is money potential. So there is like passing the combine. There is a little bit of that emotional training that comes in with it. All right. And so you can practice. So, and that helps you build a belief in your system, right? And especially if you start to divide the information of, this is my strategy, so I'm going to put all that over here in this journal, and then I'm going to do my me plus my strategy, which is all my FOMO trades, revenge trades, and strategy over here, and then you compare the two. You can really see how your strategy performs if you could take yourself out. Okay, so filter past experiences. Our minds filter market data through past wins, losses, and emotional experiences. I definitely have some kind of lightweight PTSD when it comes to day trading. Okay. And I think most people do, especially if they've been doing it for any length of time. And you really got to work through that. You really got to pay attention and work through that. I know there's certain situations and certain triggers I have that may bring that up. So therefore, I enter an emotional state and not a calm, relaxed, who cares state. Okay. But me being aware, I know, like, I can feel it coming. So either I can guard against it or inject logic into the situation so that way I don't go on absolute tilt. All right. Is anybody, am I the only one? Comment down below. Am I the only one? I hope not. You people are crazy. All right. If you've ever been burned by a certain setup, all right, there's a certain indicator. I ended up with PTSD from that indicator, but it was because I revenge traded and I smoked a bunch of money. It was my fault. But you put that indicator on my chart, well, okay, maybe not now, but back then when you put that indicator on my chart, it was like instant anxiety. Had nothing to do with the indicator, but it was paired with that emotional experience. I had to move on for a little while. All right, just being truthful, just being honest. If you've had, like some people will be like, ES is mean to me, or oh, I love gold, or platinum's terrible, and you really talk to them, it's because they have a bad experience with that ticker, with that pair, right, or whatever. Um, some people say like Bitcoin's too volatile. Well, I mean, yes and no, but they might be because they have an emotional experience tied to it because they did something wrong in their strategy and they got burned. All right. But it's important to recognize that so you can deal with it. So you can look back and go, Bitcoin's not too volatile. I was just not doing proper risk management. Right. And so I got burned. It's not Bitcoin's fault. It's not the volatility's fault. It's my fault. All right. So that gets into a whole nother thing. So if that's you, you can work through that. A lot of times you can write it out, you can journal it, you can talk about it, and you can really heal from it and move on. And today I could put up that indicator and not have any problems. Right. All right. All right. This filtering process can cause hesitation, missed trades, emotional, and emotional overreactions, like I was talking about. Right. So if you just need to recognize these things and inject the truth into the situation, right? Stop blaming the coffee, stop blaming this or that or the indicator or the signal or whatever, right? Blame you, because it's trading is all about us and our decisions and our ability to have extreme ownership over the choices we make when we approach the market. Okay? Market is neutral. Market doesn't have intentions or motives. It simply moves based on order flow and collective action. It truly is. Yes, it is algorithmically built to eat most traders, but that's because most traders trade when we know most traders trade, and then there's a ton of orders open on the books that the market runs to. Okay, that's what I trade. I pretty much trade that exact manipulation and stuff. So traders often personalize the market moves. The market is out to get me, which leads to fear and frustration. Okay, it's not true. All right. So do your best to recognize that, and especially if you're trading prop firms. I said this in the last video. You are not being hunted. They do not even see you. You're on a virtual account. You are playing a virtual video game on a casino. Okay, let's be real. All right. So sometimes I get a lot of pushback on that from people, but I'm like, let's just be real about it, right? Like this is not me actually going to the stock exchange and buying NQ and going, here, give me some NQ shares, and then the market maker goes, oh, look, it's that guy. Let's go get him. No, I'm on a prop firm. It's virtual. It's fake. All right. I think even sometimes when you get to a live account, I'm not sure that they're actually connecting you. I've been there, and anyway, whatever. All right, let's move on. Recognizing that the market's neutrality allows you to respond calmly and objectively. Understanding it's not hunting you, it's hunting other big whale traders. That's cool. Now you can just look for the hunts, to be honest with you. That's what I do. Okay. Perception shapes results. What you see on the chart is determined by what you believe is possible. Okay. A trader with confident, probabilistic mindset will see opportunity, while a fearful trader only sees danger. All right. Like I said, I most of the time I kind of like fear. I enjoy the rush of it. So I don't really like fear taking trades unless I'm being watched, and that's just me being honest. Um, then the fear and anxiety will take over. But until then, I'm pretty good to go. All right. Changing your changing your beliefs changes how you perceive opportunity. Okay. The belief Your beliefs are really the foundation of your decisions. So if you believe that you're a terrible trader, or you believe that you can't be profitable, or you believe that the market's out to get you, or you believe that this game is rigged and it's just impossible. Oh, come on. Like, what kind of belief is that? Like, that is a self-fulfilling prophecy you don't want to come true, right? So start changing your beliefs. Start talking to people that actually are profitable. And I know I'm not some crazy 7-figure profitable trader, but I am profitable. I worked very hard at it. There's other traders out there that are doing well. And, get connected to a few people like that have a positive, outlook on this. And start changing your belief system in what this really is. Go study market makers, go study the markets, study prop firms. If you're trading with Top Step, learn how they connect, learn how they offer their services, understand that you're on a virtual account. Start injecting truth into the situation, so that way you're not believing lies that are just going to tear you down and keep you down. Okay. Seeing without fear. Fear distorts perception and makes traders hyper focus on potential loss rather than opportunity. Okay, if you can't take a trade without fear, you're risking too much. All right. Now, there may be just a fear of being wrong, and I understand that. But what I'm saying is, you need to get on an account where you can trade like one micro and you're risking like $50, $20, right? Like, money you just don't care. Like, you're like, I'll pay $10 to see where this trade goes, right? I'll pay $50 to see where this trade goes. I don't care if I lose $50 in a $50,000 combine with a $3,000, $2,000 drawdown. That's cool, right? You get into that attitude, really helps your perception. Okay. And that's actually one thing I used to say to myself is, let me pay $50 to see if this trade will play out. So when I put the $50 on as a risk, I'm legit saying I'm paying this to see if this trade plays out. And I'm okay with the loss because I already feel like I paid it. All right. So, consistent traders view the market as a stream of opportunities and don't attach emotional meaning to individual trades. Have we heard this before? We've heard this a lot. This is big. Okay. Practical lessons from Chapter 5. Identifying your mental filters. Recognizing your past trading experience influence how you interpret charts. Okay. If you're desperate in this business, that's hard. Okay. My opinion is, go find a side hustle that can fund your trading, right? Trading can't be your bread, to start with, in my opinion. Okay. You need to find something to fund it. Are you seeing the market as is or as your fear dictates? That's huge. Okay. Like I said, I would put that indicator on the chart, and because I had a bad experience with it, indicator's fantastic. It works great. I don't use it now, but that's because I'm a price action trader. That was my fault. I allowed myself to get absolutely destroyed and burned. So whose fault was that? It's not the indicator. It's not the market. Nobody hunted me. It wasn't crazy market makers peeking through my window, watching me enter trades. It was me over trading, over risking, and I got burned. That was my fault. Extreme ownership. Bam. Right here. This guy. Okay. Detached from market moves. A losing trade is not a personal attack. Okay. I get a bruised ego sometimes. All right. Sometimes I'm on a call and I'm on with traders and I'm on with friends and people and stuff. And, if I make a call and it goes the other way, all of a sudden I feel bruised and my ego, I'm like, oh man, like, why couldn't that have just been a win? I would have looked good. Like, come on. I mean, yes, I deal with that. Still to this day, I deal with that. That's why I don't live trade, because I'm too selfish. I'm profitable, man. I'm not bringing you all in to watch me get stressed out and lose money. to stay profitable, but I really truly do want to share from my heart what got me there. Okay. The market isn't against you. It's indifferent. It doesn't care. It does not care about you whatsoever. Big breath. Okay, reframe your beliefs. Okay. If your beliefs are rooted in fear, um, you'll make emotional decisions. Okay. This is huge. This is seriously huge. If you are full of fear and you are full of doubt, you're going to make emotional decisions. You got to find a way to pull yourself out of the I don't care. If you have to go all the way back to paper trading, right? So that way you're not attached to anything. There is no money, there is no risk, and you need to paper trade for a little while just to kind of get you back into the behavioral momentum of entering and exiting trades. Okay, I used to get emotional paper trading. Okay, that's what kind of emotional creature I am. I would revenge trade a paper account. Like, come on. I'm not joking. I should make a video on that because it was ridiculous. When I took a step back and looked at myself, I'm like, dude, if I was recording myself right now, it would go viral because everybody would see how insane that was to revenge trade a paper account because I couldn't handle being wrong. Anyway, that's got to be a video coming. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I want to put that out there that much. Scare everybody away. This guy knows nothing. Run and hide. Okay. Adopt beliefs that support confidence, patience, and probabilistic thinking. Okay. Start telling yourself the things that are positive. Self-fulfilling prophecy is a thing for your mental framework. Okay. Train neutral observation. That's why I said if you have to, I don't really believe in paper trading, but if you have to, go all the way back to it where you can trade your strategy forward testing on a paper account in TradingView for free without any true risk. Okay. I do recommend forward trading it and not. I love FX Replay. It's great for doing like quick back testing on a specific strategy. I get it, but it doesn't really help your forward testing behavior. Paper trading kind of starts to, my opinion, combines and funded accounts. That's where you're getting at it. And then, of course, if you want to build up to your own personal trading account, I have a personal trading account, but I really focus a lot on the combines and things. I'm more of a hodler on my personal account, and then I try to generate, monthly income through prop firms. All right, and then I take that and then I invest it out. Okay. So let's see. See, yet again, my day trading is not my bread. It is not my bread. So that's huge. That's important. All right. Wow. That was a really loud alarm. Okay. So here we go. Wait for predefined setups instead of forcing trades. Wait for them. Okay. And like I said, I think it was the last video. If you can't like define your actual strategy in like a paragraph, maybe less, hopefully less, you might want to simplify it. Okay, because when you get overcomplicated, you're just injecting too much data. Decisions become hard, and it's not well grounded. All right, so reflection questions. Here we go. Let's reflect. Like a mirror, do I project my fears or past losses onto the current market? I have. How do my beliefs about money or success shape the trades I take? Am I truly seeing the market objectively, or am I filtering it through emotions? When I look at a chart, do I see probabilities or do I see personal risk and fear? Okay. Answering these questions honestly can really help you understand where you are and maybe what you can change. So I hope that it speaks to you clearly. But let's go ahead and go over some action steps and exercises. All right. Belief inventory. Write down core beliefs about trading. I must avoid losses. I need to be right. Markets are manipulated. I believe markets are manipulated, but do you think markets are manipulated because you entered? Okay. Things like that. Let's get the truth down. Evaluate these beliefs if they help or hinder your consistency. All right. If I think the market is emotionally coming after me on every trade, that's a problem for me because I'm going to be sitting there going, hovering over the buy button or the sell button, like, if I click, I know it's going to come and get me. No, especially if you're trading prop firms, it's not happening. I promise. It's virtual and it's fake. Excuse me. Neutral observation drill. All right. Spend 10 minutes looking at a live chart without placing trades. If you can't do that, there's a problem. Okay. I used to tell people this was a challenge and I still do it. Try to go a week without placing a single trade but watching the markets. Not even a paper trade. You're not allowed to paper trade. Paper trade, you still get dopamine because you're right or wrong, right? You'll still feel good when you get it right. No, just watch. Watch the market. Watch price action. Watch levels. Watch fair value gaps. Watch order blocks. Whatever's a part of your strategy. Watch the RSI if that's what you do. Just watch it. Don't play, oh, I think it's going to go here. No, observe. Nothing else. I'm telling you, watch. Everybody I've done that with who actually did it, they DM me and they're like, that was game changing. I was like, I know. All right. Okay. Simply observe price movement without labeling it as good or bad, bullish or bearish. None of that. You're not doing any of that. You're just simply watching how it reacts. That's it. You're an observer. Okay. All right. Chart journaling. Take a screenshot of a setup you hesitated or missed. Write what you saw at the time and what you might have filtered out due to fear. Okay. This kind of stuff, I'm telling you, is game changing. All right. Don't underestimate it. Okay. Sorry. I'm just letting you know, like, this stuff legit helped me. Mindset affirmation. Before trading, repeat, the market is neutral. My job is to execute my edge without bias. Okay. Without daily bias. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Some people's strategy is daily bias and it works great for them. For me, it totally jacked me up. Okay. So I'm one of those weirdos who can't use daily bias. You could give me the right daily bias and I would probably not trade correctly. Anyway, but I know people who do use it and it works great for them. And actually, I know traders that are better than me that use daily bias. All right. So we're not going to go there. Okay. Chapter 5, takeaway quote. It's not quoting me, by the way. What experience is determined by what we believe, and what we believe filters what we see. What we experience, I read that wrong. What we experience is determined by what we believe, and what we believe filters what we see. Okay? So start injecting as much truth into your trading as possible. If you need to go study how prop firms work, go do it. If you need to look into how market makers work and how money truly moves in the NASDAQ and whatever, or Forex, go learn about it, okay? But don't allow yourself to believe in lies, okay? And don't allow yourself to be like beaten down by negative thoughts, okay? Start doing some truth seeking and start self-fulfilling prophecy in your own life and start speaking those positive things into your mind. You know that you are a determined, consistent trader who's going to learn or is following their edge consistently, right? Start telling yourselves that. Start being that. Start acting it out. I'm telling you, it'll change. So I really hope this has been helpful. Share it out if you know that'll help somebody. You guys can drop those comments down below. Let me know if I'm the only trader out there in this world that struggles with this stuff. Maybe I'm alone in this, but doing these videos helps me a tremendous amount. So I'm just going to keep doing them because it's like self-study guides right here for me. Seriously. So anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.